The NobleSole podcast would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the lands on which we gather, dream, and record this podcast.
The Wurundjeri and Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation.
We pay our respects to those mobs and their elders, past, present, and future. We'd also like to extend that acknowledgement to all mobs across the many nations on these lands.
We'd like to thank the lands that we create on. Sovereignty was never ceded.
This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Welcome to the NobleSole podcast, where creativity meets consciousness. I'm Amy Soul.
And I'm Ben Noble. We're creatives and best friends, like Donkey and Shrek.
And today we're yarning art as a reflection. I'm so excited for For today's episode, instead of doing our arts practice at the end of the episode, we're actually going to be painting throughout the episode.
Yeah. Amy had the idea and it was like, oh, do we do the same structure? But this feels like then that way the painting that we're going to do is actually going to reflect the art that we're creating in this moment. So that feels really special.
Yeah, it feels like a bit of a memento of whatever this moment in time is between us and that reflection. And also for me, my own internal space at the moment. Like I'm excited to express. I'm excited to share that space with you. Like I'm just really excited. And I've already got my blue. Yeah. I'm starting with my blue.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, I love the smell of paint.
Do you?
Yeah, it's so good. Like,
Is
look at that. Smell this one. This is good paint too. This is Matisse. Like that's good.
Oh yeah, it's like paint but then glue.
It's like,
It
reminds me of when I was younger. My mum owned side tangent. My mum owned a plaster painting store.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and we
like
where your kids go and paint. I grew up around paint. That's why I paint.
Really?
Yeah, because I used to paint in my mum's store from the age of about 6 till 14.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I used to teach kids how to like mix paints and do color theory stuff, and that's why I paint.
This is like
makes sense now.
This all is just like dropping in to my just like, oh, that's why we do this, and that's not and we've painted together before.
Yes. And
I really appreciate like the way that you can direct in a painting as well. Like it's just so indicative of you as an artist is the way that you paint, not just how you paint.
Ooh, I like that.
Should we start and then that way we can just
keep talking.
Yeah, and
I
then
know,
we
but
can
once we
yarn.
put the first ready, I'll put the first. Do we do it together at the same time? Oh, I like that. That's a good choice. I find something soothing about blue. I think because it reminds me of like river. It's very. This one I think is called. This is called Australian sky blue. Really like.
We're both water babies.
We are both cancers.
Cancer.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Oh, I love that color.
That is stunning. So art as a reflection. I guess it's this thing, right? Like even the fact that I'm holding a paint that's called Australian sky blue.
Yeah.
You can't get away. I think I talked about it last week about my dramaturgy practice of like the 3 spheres of dramaturgy and the external one being the real world context because I love talking about it. Like even just simple thing is like picking a color of paint. It's still putting in the context of an Australian sky blue and everything that is a reflection of what that means. Yeah, and all of the context and layers that come with that. This idea of Australia, what is Australia, and then everything that Australia has been and everything that it was before colonisation. And yeah, I just think that even simple things like that, reality is always reflected in art in some way, shape or form.
I'm just like
processing
that, but then also I'm processing how I talk and create at the same time. If I'm going to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, it's I think it's one of those ones where it's like the doubt comes in where it's like, oh, I'm good at these separate things, but am I
good at doing them
together?
But I guess that's the idea of goodness too, right? Like what is that? You don't have to be good at it.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, I also just get kind of like lost in the creation, which is nice. And I think that's where for me the art as reflection kind of comes into play, where I really love allowing the different parts of me to express. And so I feel like my inner world most of the time, obviously there's sometimes where things are chaotic and things
Chaotic?
yeah, and
internally? What are you talking about?
What do you mean? No way. But like for most of the time, it's pretty chill and pretty level headed because like
I mean, that must be a pretty cool existence, to be honest.
I mean, it's nice and it's definitely, it's new. That's
giving therapy.
It's giving therapy. That's giving inner work, but also that's giving like, we're in the vastness of me. That's like a speck of that. That's not always reactive kind of thing. So it's nice to have that expression of these emotions that aren't now at a 10 anymore. They're not, whether it's anger or sadness, they're not like fully associated with. And so when this art comes out and I get to reflect these emotions into the art, it's like, it's another level of association that is different from, where I was, where, the feelings are super associated and it's not, part of me is angry. It's, Ben is angry.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the ability to zoom out and look at the kind of, what is that? I don't know what that is. If someone is a psychologist, they can tell me what that is. But I have this thing, right? And this is where I'm going to get nervous talking about this on the podcast. Because I think I come up at heads with it sometimes when I talk to a lot of people about it, which is people get really wrapped up in this idea of like safe practice, and that emotional art can't be safe practice, and that there's a certain way in which there's harm. And like harm reduction is always important when making kind of any kind of process, but art is actually meant to be art. Art is meant to be political. Art is meant to be reflective. Art is meant to be honest. Art is meant to be brave. Art needs to be all of those things. If art is just craft, why the fuck would you put it on your walls? Great, you can paint a pretty house. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, art has to be big.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like an artist's journey is to like, but I think an artist's ability to sit truthfully in their emotions and not like, and not be ashamed of them. Like, I think shame is where art goes to die. And I think that because art is such a reflection of society, we want to shame it. And I feel that shame. And I feel that shame whenever, like, within my own practice of truth telling or my own practice of telling story, people are like, shush, Amy, don't talk about that. Don't say that. Don't represent that. Don't feel that. I want to feel it all.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel it all. I'm going to feel it all right now. You know what I mean? I'm allowed to have my feelings. I'm allowed to express them. I'm allowed to be vulnerable. And I'm allowed to turn up. Yeah. And I'm allowed to be brave.
And the people that support you will want that for you as well.
100%. The people who aren't trying to shut me down, but the people that are like, hey, actually, your feelings don't scare me. Your how you're experiencing your reality isn't scary. And I think because I'm a human being that's had people try to dictate or take away that reality for such a long time, which is Australian sky blue. Oh my god, that's stunning. Yeah. That's really beautiful.
Thanks.
It's delicate. It reminds me of like a flower.
Yeah.
It's like a little orchid. Oh, I like the little blue in there.
Yeah, it's like it's given frangipani, but not in the colours, if that makes sense.
It's almost nostalgic. Like, it almost reminds me of something that I would have seen on my great grandmother's walls, or in like actually, do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like this is so random, art as reflection. The inside of a drawer. You know how your great grandmothers or your older grandma would have that wrapping paper in the inside 100%. Of drawers when they pack their clothes? That's what that reminds me of.
Oh yeah, cool. I know that. Yeah, my nanster had like those drawers.
Did you say Nenster?
Yeah, but it's like
stop.
I don't.
Nenster.
Yeah, nanster was she. Yeah, she was like, I don't know where it started. I don't know if it was like Gangster Nan or if it was just, but it was always Nanster. She lived to 93.
Oh, fuck off, Nan.
Yeah.
Good innings.
Yeah.
Big
very
life.
good. Yeah. She passed, and then like 6 months later, my dad passed. Like
Yeah.
his mum.
Because your grandmother on your mother's side still alive, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, your nan was a big part of your life, wasn't it? Wasn't she?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I lived with her when I was younger, and she was the matriarch of our family, so still is, even though she's in the dreaming. She's still, Nan is Nan. She's guided and shaped us and held us, and yeah, and I love her dearly. I also think she influenced a bunch of my artistic practice, because I think that was where I first started making art, was at her place.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a massive hoarder.
Really?
Huge hoarder. Like, had the coolest stuff. And I think that was my first introduction to kind of theatricality through just things. And I think that's become such a big part of my theatrical world that I build, and my artistic world that I build. Like, I think even the sets that I'm pulled towards are because of Nan.
How do you think that like the reality that you were in first started reflecting back in your art?
Oh, day dot, Benny.
Yeah.
Day dot. I used to, one of my first arts practices, I was a poet. I started as a poet. I used to write poetry. I used to have a little book that I used to write in. I used to dance, and poetry were my thing.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And it would always be about the real world around me.
Yeah.
Always. It's an expression of self. That's what poetry is.
Yeah.
As you know, as a poet. What about you? What was your...
Yeah, like similarly, dance was kind of the first thing.
Oh my God, iconic. Now we need to do a dance episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, the dance off we had at my birthday party to Tina Arena Chains. That's it. That's it right there.
She was my sexual awakening. Literally. I remember like when Chains came out. That was like
I'm
my
in
first.
chains.
Yeah, baby, I'm in chains.
But that's actually a great example of art as a reflection, and we will come back because I just ADHD'd out real bad. But like, what's the line? Never thought passing through that gate that once inside I cannot escape. Baby, baby. Okay, I can't sing very well, but like, I think that's a great...
I don't believe that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I've not trained. I don't know how to, but I have a beautiful voice. I have a very sexy voice. Yes. I've owned the sexiness of my voice.
Yes.
But that's truth telling, right? Like that's heart, that's soul, that's a reflection of who she is, of the story of which she's gone through. And I think that's why it impacted so many people, because we all know what it's like to be stuck in abusive dynamics, and that's what that song is about.
Yeah.
Bam, and the grease is gone, or whatever. I don't know what that
Bam,
reference
and the grease is gone. Fuck. Can you pass me that red?
This one? That's not red. It's more of a brownie.
Oh, nice.
I do have a red if we want to find a red. I wonder what our painting truth is going to be. I can't wait to the end. I think that'll be really great that we don't really process or reflect it. And then at the end, we can see what we see and what we've created, the journey of which we've gone on. I think it'd be really cool.
As I mentioned at the top, the way that you paint, I think is really unique and beautiful. So like any reflections around how you're feeling and how the...
like my impulse right now is to do this. This is what I'd do.
Beautiful.
I'm like, it's this, right? Like it's just going, this is what I feel. This here. Yeah. This moment, this is actually the expression of what's... And like this story, right? Like this story, this starts with river. I always start with rivers. And then this is expression or... And just to like layer stuff up. Beautiful.
I feel like we can't really talk about like the reflection of art and artist reflection in the zeitgeist of where we're at without talking about like authenticity. Because for me, my brain, like, they go hand in hand, because it's like, well, that's how people reflect. I suppose people reflect what's going on around them, what they're feeling inside, but also with the truth of social media moving from like social to performative. It's more like every social media is no longer about your friends. It's about like consuming content. Rather, because I see, you know,
which I think is also like, that's also a thing, right? Like, because art is also, it's a business, right? Like, people make money off it. And I think social media is the same thing, right? Like, it's no longer about social media. It's actually about, it's a platform. It's now television.
Yeah.
And it's just that we understand that that's what it is. And I think because a lot of the time it's angled as like truth, there's something dangerous in that. This idea that truth, when something isn't shown that it's not actually truth, but rather has a structure and is a performance, that I think is actually dangerous.
What's dangerous about it?
Well, we believe it as fact, right? Rather than as like, no, actually, we're looking for the most dramatic scenario. Like even this, right? Like this is in a podcast form, right? Like this is still a format, right? Like we still are talking slightly different than we would if we weren't recording this and people weren't listening to it. Like it's not 100% reflective of reality. It's reflective of a reality of making a podcast.
Yeah.
Which I love as a format, which is good news.
Thank God.
I was like, I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
No, this is a long time coming. But anyway.
I think I'm nervous about talking about this episode.
What is the nervous part of you saying? What's going on?
It's the constant shutting down. It's the many voices and shutting down of artistic expression. Like this idea that art needs to be not personal or made up, or like this is just stuff that I think that I carry because it's part of, I think it's just so close to my own practice. This idea of not being able to truth tell maybe. And I think that I'm scared. There's a part of me that's nervous that articulating this in my practice will somehow negatively affect how people perceive me as an art maker.
Which
is so ridiculous. I'm fucking awesome.
Yeah, what's the fear that people will perceive? Like what's
that my practice is dangerous or unhelpful or uneducated. Like that it's somehow not, it's that thing where you go, oh, but like that's not proper.
Right.
And I'm like, I have 2 master's degrees in art.
Yeah.
But this minute you start making it feminine or emotional or something about truth telling, that's not art. That's just a bunch of wankers dancing around in leotards. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the demonizing of artistic practice the minute it becomes within an emotional context or a reflection of reality that's an emotional reality rather than just a mirrored one. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And I feel like, yeah, that's a really good insight because as art is reflection, some of the best art I've then taken, this was portrayed. How does that work in my life? How I put myself in the main character
which is
what. And so when you're speaking about how, this is the emotional process and that's reflected in this art, and there is a resistance to that, I think sometimes people can resist their processing of their
Themselves.
own emotions,
I
their
agree.
own love, their own capacity. And when it doesn't align because they haven't processed those, that's where the rejection comes
Oh,
in.
I 100% agree.
That's where, no, this isn't for me. I don't know who this is for.
Yeah.
And now this is outsider.
Yeah, I 100%. I think that's spot on. And I think it's also like people, when stories are told that are reflective of truth that are too close to them or to the world, it makes people uncomfortable.
For sure.
And people want to shut it down.
Well, I mean, I think that's the real underlying truth about why art is so powerful is because it reflects back a truth or a perspective, and not everybody has that perspective or claims that truth.
Yes. Yeah.
So when art is reflected and somebody has a whole ideology or belief system that opposes that narrative, then all of a sudden, you know,
Like,
that art is false or
exactly,
that art is
but I think that there's no
lesser than.
Yeah, but I think that that's the thing with art, right? Like that's why art exists. Oh, I love that. I love that.
It's just like,
Yes. But I think that that's it, right? Like art doesn't have to be. There's always going to be multiple perspectives on what art is. Just a reflection of something. It doesn't have to be that this is the answer. And so the defensiveness behind it is like, but it can just exist.
Yeah.
That's okay. Like this story can exist. It doesn't have to take up. It doesn't take the whole narrative.
Doesn't take the whole narrative.
But it is interesting when you think about stories that have been weaponized against others. Then we're getting into a whole episode of like, who tells the stories? What are those stories reflecting? Or
Yeah.
who makes what? Or who, which is bigger.
But that's kind of what we're doing. Like, is there any artist or any art that has been created that like resonates with you in a level where it's felt like you're going against the zeitgeist of like, oh no, like everybody didn't like this, but this is actually the thing?
Oh, most art, every art I like.
Yeah.
Every single thing. I think that I mostly like art that's like
Yeah, fair.
every song, that's not true. I do like a lot of pop music though. Every fine art, every opera, every play, every everything, every installation. I feel like for me, I love it when people are brave. I love it when people break form. I love when people are political. I love it when they're brave. Like, look at that. That's good. Like, I love that, Benny. Like, I love that trust in yourself to go, fuck this, I'm going to do this. Like, that's, like, fucking love that. Yeah, but clear examples of that. I guess, I mean, you know, within my context, all First Nations art, I think sometimes, no matter what it is, we get, you know, there's so much wrapped around it, around form and content. So,
yeah,
everything, right?
Well, yeah, because I mean, a lot of the First Nations art that I've seen, it's bringing up, you know, dreamings and story that have been, you know, for a
Just
lot
have a
of
memorial.
society have been long forgotten as well.
Well,
you know,
not
that in the white scape of things, it's something that that they're trying to
cultures,
literally bury,
yeah,
and make new history, new stories that kind of like overshadow.
Yeah, that's colonialism.
100%.
This idea of like quietening those stories so that the reality that is then being portrayed is the reality, and that's why I think I fight so vehemently for our stories to be able to be heard and truths to be told, and the importance of this. and the importance of our stories and form and content as validity, and no matter which way they're told. We've been telling stories here since time immemorial. My ancestors, were the oldest continuing storytellers in the world. From song, from dance, ceremony, painting, like all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to have those practices taken and shunned, and yeah, like I think about all the things that my grandmother wasn't able to do or express, or it's big. And it's a part of the truth telling. It's a part of the real story. It's the real story. And we all have our stories. Wee.
I love this. That's nice. This part is not for the audio listeners.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
It's just. Oh, you're right. We've just picked up a whole new audience.
I told you my voice was sexy.
I love this.
Yeah.
That is like incredible. That's the universe. I mean, it always shut up.
It's the universe.
It's the universe. And immediately went, no, that's wrong. But that literally,
it can be the universe.
It
It's the universe.
all the rest, yeah. And
Yeah.
maybe that's what, like, there's so much like internal angst within me.
Yeah.
And so like,
yeah.
being like, oh, this is like the amount of times that I've said to myself, like, oh, is this an aligned action? Right? As if somehow it's outside of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I see this thing and it's like, oh, that's the universe, but then all the rest is not. And it's like, why am I like feeling so strongly about this is right, and then which then
wrong.
makes everything else that's not this wrong.
I got pets on my arm. Yeah. It's interesting because now I'm just processing how much, because we didn't talk at the start about the fact that you get anxious when you paint.
Yeah.
Like painting for you is you worry.
I do. I feel like it's a medium where like I haven't developed as much trust within my own craft.
Mm-hmm.
And I love talking and working with my hands, but it's one of those ones where it's like somehow there's again the internal hierarchy of, oh, I'm better at speaking than I am with my hands.
Well, that's your tool though. You're a poet. You're a rapper.
from last week, yeah.
Like flexing my chakra that I wanna get up off ya, that I wanna make proper, that I wanna get clocked up.
It's official.
EP dropping soon.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Why didn't I do that before?
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
But yeah, I think it's like, see, and that's the thing. It's like, I think expectation is just where like, I say a thing and a word and then it floats and it's either like I said it or I didn't, and I can judge it later or whatever, but it's like it's already done. Where this is like, oh, I can do it, and then if I hate it, it's still there.
It still exists.
It's still existing. It's still looking at me, and it's like, oh,
It's looking at me.
do you know what I mean?
The painting
Like,
is
it's
alive.
yeah, it is. But it's like it's that's the medium of it. It's like, oh, it will exist exactly how it is until you change it, and words aren't like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I suppose they can be captured and then they exist until you delete it, but then that doesn't happen anymore either because of the internet. So I suppose there is, and that will, I'm sure I'll have a existential crisis once I say something on this podcast that I then no longer believe in.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
out there.
But that'll happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just life, right?
Yeah.
It's all just about the creating, right? Like, it's not about the outcome. This could be the ugliest painting in the world, but that doesn't matter because it was created as a reflection of something that we did here today together in conversation at a moment in time that exists here that we will forever have, my friend.
Yeah.
We will forever have this conversation and this artwork that we made at these points in our lives when we were sitting here on this country at this moment doing this thing together.
I think that's the bit where parts of me forget, right? Because I've done enough paintings where I'm like, oh, and especially when multiple people have done multiple paintings in the same place at the same time, and I can see, even though they're from different perspectives, and even within this, that there's different perspectives, but there is congruity.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah. It is now. Man, put up the definition.
Congruity, where things align together in unison.
Yeah.
And if it isn't, Oxford, I'm coming for you.
Same.
You know what I mean? Like,
No, I get it. It's actually there's a thing here. We don't know what the thing is, but we can like have a look at it and then talk about what we see, what these moments were. Oh my god, I love that. I'm really grateful for you. I'm really grateful for this too. So that's a reflection.
talk more into that if you wanted to.
Just because you want me to tell you how deadly you are?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. I don't know, because
This
like,
is awesome.
like we say at the start of every podcast, we're best friends. They did it. But I also feel like we're like,
Sorry.
we're best friends, like two existential space weirdos that have come down on this planet and are doing things together, and having someone who will jump into the depths and out of the kiddie pool into the whirlwind. You don't have, like, it's fucking great to have that.
Yeah, it's like there's a level of like push, but it's like effortless because it's fun. Like I feel like that's, even when it's hard, it's like, oh, I've got you, you've got me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, okay, cool. We're okay. This is gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So even when I do feel anxious or nervous about the things that I'm doing, like, I know that I can continue doing it.
Yeah.
Like, that's never not the case.
Yeah.
Like, I will continue doing it. I will be in the existential, vacuum that we've created, but also the resistance is okay too. Do you want to flip it?
Do we want to flip it? Let's do a move.
Yeah.
Let's do a live move. Do you want to take the thing off? Meg's coming to help. Do we want to have a look at it? And give our reflections on what we created?
Yeah.
Meg, do you want to hold it up for us? That's cool. Oh, wow.
I love, like, it's kind
Like exploding from here.
Yeah.
The movement.
The movement from there into this, like, that looks like one big section. Every time I go to say something about it, I find a new thing
That you like.
that I
Can you
like.
flip it the other way around to me? Just like full 360.
Oh. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I love it that way. Nah, that's it. I love that way. Every time you turn it, I love it. That's so beautiful. I can see the like story in it. Oh, it's like a swirl around like 2 points, and there's like a garden and like an explosion, and like there's so much in that.
How does it make you feel?
Oh, I want to cry, actually. I feel like I see so much love. Like, there's so much love in that painting. and so much connection and so much care, and then fear and hiding and creative energy and expression and like tenderness and vulnerability. I see a little fucking mermaid over there. I also see the hiding, the wanting to hide and then wanting to show. Like it feels like hiding and expressing.
For sure. That's because I feel like there's explosion and then there's also like what
Pulling
was
back.
before the
Yeah,
explosion kind of
yeah.
thing. Like that's the vibe that I'm getting.
The constant 360 turn that Meg is doing is excellent.
Yeah. Maybe somehow, Meg, you can like get shots of this each way, and then the viewers can tell us which story that they're getting from that one. What are you getting from this one? What's your favorite one?
I'd love to hear what you see in that, and I'd love to hear what you hear in the journey of the podcast in that. Like, what was the reflection? Did it reflect?
Yeah, well, I mean that, as we love the meta. How are you reflecting on this podcast of reflection? Are you self-reflecting? Are you reflecting of this art?
I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of black in there.
Beautiful.
Because I think everything can just be blacker.
Why not? There is some black on the ground, but that's okay. That's okay.
Life.
That's life. That's life. Oh,
That's cool.
That just needs to be. There we go. That's nice.
Love it.
Cool.
Thank you so much for this episode.
I appreciate you immensely. This feels like I can swear on this.
I swear a lot, so I hope we can swear on it.
I feel like this has just been a fucking gift. Like, honestly, whether it's because there's tangible and my brain likes that it's like, oh, now we have a physical thing, but like also just the process of creating, but also reflecting how we create. It's just such a gift. I'm just enthralled by this process and by the creating with you. So thank you so much. I love you immensely.
I love you too. You're so welcome. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, Meg.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Meg. Like and subscribe. Turn up in the world. Be brave and bold.
Yeah. Reflect the world that you have in front of you, both outside and inside, and put it in some art. Love to see it.
Yeah. Send it to us.
Please.
Bye.
Bye. Did you like that story? Thanks for listening to the NobleSole podcast with Amy Soul and Ben Noble. This episode was produced and edited by Megan Scollier Gray.
If you want to support this independent podcast, subscribe or follow wherever you listen. You can also check us out on socials at NobleSole Podcast. If you want to drop us a line, email us at noblesolepodcast@gmail.com.
And hey, if you liked the episode, write us a 5-star review. And if you didn't, well, that's none of our business. Bye.
Bye.